Welcome to Country Kickback, where you'll hear the latest music from performers you already know and discover new music and artists from around the world. If you have an artist you'd like us to chat with, reach out to the team at countrykickback.com, or you can watch our live videos and more by following us on social media and YouTube. Here is your host, Danni Shaw, with the latest from Country Kickback.
Hi, happy Monday. Another weekend has flown by. I don't even know where it went. It went that quickly. What have you guys been up to? What music have you been seeing? Tell me what you've been listening to. There's a lot of music that was released last week, so there's a lot of new stuff, which was really lovely to hear. I always like New Music Fridays, and hearing all the stuff that comes out gives me something excellent to listen to on the way home from work. Kent is sitting very quietly down here. We're going to welcome him into the room and have a chat to him. It's his first time on the show, so if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. We're just talking. It's your first time on here. You've been brave enough to come and test it out.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime. I was looking forward to this. It's funny because I remember we met, it would be a bit over a year ago now, and you were doing an open mic night. And I don't know if you were singing what you were singing that night, but I remember thinking, wow, you have this awesome sound.
Thanks. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
That's gone quick. I can't believe that's been over a year. It's crazy. I haven't been to Brisbane since, or to Gold Coast since. So
yeah, right. No, you got to come back sometime. It's like paradise up here.
Definitely be back very soon. I'm coming up. I'm gonna maybe get up for groundwater. Maybe. I know Ray's playing on. There's a few people different playing, and I might sort of drag them out of their houses to go and watch a few shows. And I will do Keith in December. He's going to Brisbane and go on the Gold Coast, so I'll be there for a few times before the year's out. We'll definitely have to go to another open mic night. You're sitting in your car because you've got a gig soon. But before we go into all your gigs and your current song, can you tell us why you got involved in music? Because I know you were saying you grew up on country music, but what made you get into playing?
Well, to be honest with you, like all the kids in my family, all my siblings and everything, we've all played music of some sort, like in school, but it's always just been a hobby. Like I grew up on a farm, and was dairy and then went to beef. Listen to like country music and stuff like that. There was always music around, but music was just a hobby. It was never something that you would sort of do as a career. But I don't know, I was just like, I was sat there on the piano like tinkling along. I never learned to read music like on the sheet. I just sort of like listened by ear and like copied this like the melodies and stuff, and found whatever chords it was that was like working with that.
Really?
Yeah, and then I picked up like mum's guitar and that, and like fiddled around with that. Anyway, I had like my one subject. I was going for like an OP in the end of high school, so I could get into uni and whatever. I didn't even know what I wanted to do, but I just knew that like I've got to get something good. So I did all these subjects like biology and accounting and all this stuff to try and get a really good OP. But I had room for one fun subject, and that was music. And I was like, this is gonna be sweet. And music ended up being the one thing that I realized I wanted to do. So I did, like, in grade 12, I auditioned for Creative Generation, and it's like aired on Channel 10 TV, and didn't expect to get anything out of it. Like, when you're just in this like little rural, like I went to school in Oakey, it's like west of Toowoomba. And it's, you just sort of like, you don't expect to get anything from there. Like, and anyway, I auditioned for it and got chosen as one of 25 from across the state to be a featured vocalist. Yeah. And like, I was like, oh my gosh. And like, so I had to go to Brisbane like a lot throughout that year, sort of every 2 weeks, going for like rehearsals and stuff. Wow. Worked with some huge industry professionals, and like, was like, imagine doing this as a job. Like, that would be insane. Like, yeah. And then anyway, like, because I was undecided. I was really good at accounting, but just hated it.
Yeah.
And I actually did a Head Start program in between grade 11 and 12, like where you go to uni and you study like for 2 weeks, you do this course, and if you pass it, you get a credit toward your degree. So it sort of entices you to go and study that degree then. Yeah. And was like, just because you're good at it doesn't mean you have to do it. Like whatever you end up choosing in life, you have to be passionate about it. Don't just do it because you're good at it. So
That's right.
I'm not as good. I wasn't as good at music as I was at accounting at the time, but music made me come alive. I just loved it. Like, cannot get enough of it. Like, just performing is like the greatest thing on earth.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's hard to explain to people that aren't music people, isn't it? I always think, I guess for me, the only way to explain it would be that I wouldn't be here if music didn't exist, because that's what I'm made of. It doesn't. There's nothing else to compare it to. I don't really know how else to explain it to somebody that's not doesn't understand musical. And
it's like your oxygen, you know?
Yeah, it is. That's a really good point. It's just like your oxygen, and it is the 100%. Like, if I don't think in my entire life I've ever had a day where I haven't played at least one song. I don't think there's ever been a day, and if there has, I was obviously very sick. It's the thought of that. I just can't even think of the thought of that. If I've had a horrible day at work, I listen to music on the way home and I'm good. It's fine. It's gone. Sometimes I do get in the car and think, oh, I had it on very loud last night.
Yeah, literally. I had that tonight, actually.
Yeah, it turns
I was like,
down. Don't make people like, whoops, I was in a different mood yesterday. Clearly. Oh dear. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's just part of you. So your mum's guitar, you were saying. So your family obviously are a little bit musical too, or play.
Yeah, but as I said, it was always just hobby. So like my oldest sister, she played some piano. My second oldest sister played a little bit of guitar. My older brother played trumpet. And then my little sister played violin. But it's like none of them actually did anything more than just sort of like some like a little bit of concert band here and there, or just like learn to play a song and then was like, that's cool, I've done that now. Like it was never to go out and do performances.
It didn't
It never left the lounge room kind of thing, like, whereas like for me, like I ended up, playing little like concerts in school and stuff and being like, oh my gosh, this is the best. Like I wasn't the cool kid in school, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, like there you sort of just, you had to be pretty rough around the edges to fit in. And I don't know, I was pretty like raised strict, like on the straight and narrow sort of thing. And it was like I don't know, like I wasn't cool because I wasn't rebellious enough, but like music was my thing, and I just like I clicked with it. I felt home with it, and it was great.
There would be very few days, by the sound of it, that you don't have music in your life in one way or the other.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
That's awesome. And now you're doing it for a living. You're out, you're gigging, you're doing it for real, and you're releasing some pretty cool music. Cigarettes and Whiskey. I have put a link in the comments because on your YouTube you have an acoustic clip of you doing that song. I love it. It's so good, and you can see you are just loving what you're doing. Tell us about this song and why you decided to release it and write it.
So basically, it's not really like, it's based off little elements of like true stories, in a sense of like, there was like times where you'd go out and have like a little kind of thrilling flirty exchange with people or whatever, and like you just know, you're like, this isn't like someone who I'm gonna marry, it's just like, but like you can't expect to like know that stuff straight away anyway, but like sometimes it's just like the idea of Cigarettes and Whiskey, like lyrically, is it's like you enjoying that the thrill of having that flirty exchange with someone who isn't going to go long term with, and so you're like, it's bad, like, but it feels so good, like, it's kind of just like, and both Cigarettes and Whiskey are bad for you, but like in moderation, in small doses, they do go well together, and in moderation, in small doses, they are quite a thrill, like they're kind of fun,
exactly,
to entertain.
That moment,
so
in that moment, it's great. Yeah,
exactly. So like that's in essence like what the tagline is, like, you and me, babe, go hand in hand like cigarettes and whiskey. Is like, we do kind of go well together right now, but too much of it would be bad. Let's be honest, like, so it's just a bit of a flirty fun tune.
Is it one that took you a while to write, or did it just sort of come out?
Nah, honestly, I've had some songs where I've tried to like one of them I haven't released it, but like I don't know, I rewrote it like 7 times, whereas this one here was like quite quick. It was like
Yeah.
it flowed. I sort of had the chorus written mostly like before I had any music for it, but I had it like in, you know how like you hear like a lot of I don't know if you know like Pat Patterson. He's like the guy that taught like John Mayer and stuff songwriting. He's like he's really big in the songwriting like lecturing sort of thing. He's teaches at Berkeley in America, but he always talks about like having a hook book and stuff like that. And it's like and so like my hook book is basically just the notes on my iPhone. And I'll be driving or something and I just think of some line and I'm like, I'll just tell Siri to like make a note. Like I'm like I can't lose it. I need to save this somehow. Like, because I know when I get home, if I was to try and be like, where's the pen and paper? It's gone.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, as soon as the thought comes into my head, I've got to have it down. And so anyway, like I had this like thought in my head of that. Like, you know, you and me go hand in hand like cigarettes and whiskey, and was like, but it needs like I was thinking at the time, you know, like a bit of a Teskey Brothers mixed with like, I don't know, like Blake Shelton kind of like, it's got to have like, you know, like the God's Country sort of like, it's a bit of a grunge. It's got to have some grunge to it. Yeah, and I'm a little bit like pop rock myself, but like raised on country. So like I always like to think of myself as like pop rock, but with like country in the DNA sort of thing. And it's really like
doing that. That's a song in itself there.
So it's sort of like and I didn't intend for it to be country, but like lyrically I was like, it kind of has to have a bit of a flirty kind of dirty feel that's like, you know, I don't know, it's really hard to explain. So I was like, let's just try and make the music feel like that, like and that was the angle I was going for. And then it's sort of like come out and been like, it's a bit country, and I'm not even mad about it.
No, definitely not. And look, we said every show nearly, country is the biggest genre out there. You can play in this genre so many different ways and come up with a fantastic song, and it still comes under that country hat. It's just such a broad thing, which I think it gives artists so much freedom, whereas a lot of other genres, they don't have that freedom. They've got to sort of stick to that style.
Very niche.
Whereas country has freedom, and people that don't like country, most of the time they actually like country. They don't realize it, but they do.
You just show them a different one. Like, wait, that's country. Like,
that's good. Yeah, that's country. Yeah.
But you've never had a Johnny Cash. Like, like,
exactly right. Exactly right. Oh dear, exactly. And that's what I love about country. It's like people always mock it. And you're like, if you understood, you would see how stupid you sound right now.
I've seen you jam to old school Taylor Swift. Like everyone's like, damn it, she was country.
I saw that. That's right.
Funny.
Now you're about to go and do a gig. Can people come along still?
Yeah, 100%. But it's tonight is mostly like covers, so like that's how I make most of my money now. And just playing like full-time cover gigs, so like your bars, breweries, weddings, whatever will book me basically. And like as I'm releasing more and more of my own music, I'm trying to actually, you know, introduce more of my songs into gigs and stuff. And eventually, like hopefully by next year, I'd really love to do more shows that are just my music. When I released this song, I actually did there's a dive bar, Vinny's Dive in Southport. I know the people that like book there, and I was like, hey, any chance the night before my release you have it free? And they're like, oh, we don't. There's like a band that's already booked there. And I was like, oh, all good. Like this was like a month before. And then anyway, like the week before, they're like, hey, dude, so that band like dropped out. Do you want to have it? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm talking like it was coming out on the Friday, so we're talking like the Thursday, and they will let me know on the Monday. So I'm trying to throw together a show in like a few days. And end up like getting a friend of mine to like come and open, and she's phenomenal as well. So she like agreed and like opened for me. She was like, I'm a bit sick, my voice isn't great, and so I'm giving her like all these tips and like vocal stuff like to like care for it and hopefully recover, and then she come good just in time. And I was like, spread the word, and like I had to make it free entry because it was just like I just want as many people as I can there, kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I was so surprised.
Footage? Did you get footage? Did you get footage and things from it?
Just like from people's phones, because I did try to get like a videographer, but it was just too late. Like no one was available in such late notice. Yeah, and like I asked around everywhere, and I know a fair few people, and I couldn't get any of them. So I'm like, at least I tried everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And like I did.
It's amazing the footage that they get on phones now, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just so much fun.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, fun.
And yeah. Anyway, so like I did that, and like some of my mates were like just joking with me, but they're like, "Play Wonderwall," and I was like, "Actually, no." You know why? Because like I'm so proud of the fact that like we've got an entire show of just original music. Like this is my music, and you guys get to come and see me do it first. Like you know what I mean? Like, and you're hearing this song sung live the night that it's going to come out at midnight. But you're hearing it at like 9 o'clock, like a few hours before everyone else gets to hear it. And they're like, yeah, no, that is pretty sweet. Like, you know, like that is dope. Like we're stoked that we get to like experience that exclusive.
It's such a just do. And what just like everything just fell into place for you for the song, just straight out. Yeah. That's so perfect. Does that give you fire to keep doing more and more when you see and get to feel that just would make you want to keep writing and keep pushing and pumping it out, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I'll be honest, like writing, I really love the feeling of achieving like a really cool line, but like I'm so perfectionist, and I'll sit there and be like, oh, this is terrible, this is so bad. Like
it's really good.
Hang on, I gotta get this light back on. Just in my car, it's decided.
That is so good. It's not gonna run flat.
There we go. Yeah, and
it will not be my fault if your car goes flat.
No, it's all good. Yeah, so like where was I? Oh yeah, writing. Like I love performing. Performing is my favorite thing ever. But like sitting down and actually writing songs, I find so tedious. I don't know whether it's just like I'm a bit of a fidgeter. I've never been like diagnosed with like ADD or anything, but like for me, I'm kind of like, oh, I just want to I want to be active. I want to do something. Like sitting down and just trying to pan out everything so meticulously, and like, you know, like you've got to edit. You've got to have patience. You can't just expect to write the finished product the first time. Yeah, exactly. Like it's not going to happen that way, and if it does, it's probably not that great. Like you're not a genius. Like.
Sometimes it might fall into place, but yeah, you do have to. And a lot of artists do that. They will pump the music out just to keep the content out there. But if you haven't got quality in what you're putting out, people aren't going to keep buying it and keep coming to shows. If you're not putting that effort in, people know. People can feel it because you're up on the stage singing something that you know could be better. So you're feeding that to the audience as much as they're picking up on it. So
I think too, it's like really important that like whatever you say is unique and the way you would say it. Like don't like everything's already been said basically, right? And so all these people are like, oh, what's the point in writing? You're like, because we all feel like the same emotions all the time, which is why everything's been said. Like, but that's what makes your music relatable. However, how you say it can be different. Like how many people have said, you know, like you and me should be together.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know, like, or like, you know, it's really fun holding hands with you. It's really fun flirting with you, like kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like there's been probably hundreds of ways that's been said before, but I'm like, I can't find a song out there that said like you and me, babe, go hand in hand like cigarettes and whiskey. Like, and so I'm like, great. Like I can say the same thing that everyone else has already said. And like how many people have been in that same situation, but in your own way. So it's like I get a real kick out of like achieving that line. I just kind of hate having to get to it. Like I'm not that passionate about sitting down and actually doing the writing, but I love the feeling of having it, like achieving that line or like achieving like a really good piece of writing that I've done. I'm like, yeah, sweet. Stoked about how that came out. And I love performing it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. No, I have written a few songs over my time, and I am not very good with getting the words, so I lose patience with that. And that, it's going. Well, That's what I want to say, but I need to say it in my way and in my words. And getting those words to flow, it takes a lot too. You get on a roll, and then it stops, and
think
it is hard.
I think you have to remind yourself though, like that, like again, like don't try to write the finished product first.
Yeah.
And there's an old saying that goes, you can always edit bad lyrics, you can't edit no lyrics.
Exactly.
So it's like
right. That's true.
get what you want to say down on the page, and even if it's all cliche after cliche, and then you basically, you already have your roadmap. Then like, you know, here's what I want to say, and you're not kind of like drifting off, being like, oh, now I've hit a block. Like you've already said what you need to say. Now just say it differently.
Say how you want to say
uniquely.
it. Put yourself into it. Yeah. If you're thinking that right now, what would you say to describe it? Yeah. So describing words. Yeah.
Yeah.
How exciting for you though. I would have loved to have been up there for that show. I would definitely have come if I was in
Now, I'll try and get more, like, not just on the Gold Coast next time.
Yes, definitely. Come to Tassie. It's cold though.
Heck yeah.
Bring your warm clothes. It's cold.
I don't care about that. I love fun jackets and stuff. So
done. Definitely come down. We'll definitely find a lot of shows for you. Have you been here before?
No, never.
Never. Oh,
no.
You'll love it. It's so
and I'm
good.
a big fan of chocolate, and that's where Cadbury is based. So
yeah, we've got other chocolate factories here too. We're pretty lucky.
I'll definitely have to hit that up.
Definitely. There's quite a few chocolate places here, and they're all good. You can't say that they're not, because they are. You just try not to go too often. Very hard. Very, very hard when they're not that far away. But yes, you have to come down here. It's great for music, and it's just a magical little island with lots of fun stuff. Yeah. Have you been to New Zealand?
No.
No, I was going to say, it's quite similar to some parts of New Zealand. Very nice.
Right. Again, like I would go there in a heartbeat. Like I want to.
Yeah,
I want to.
Exactly right. You need to do a tour. Where is your ultimate place to go? Do you have a really big bucket list item that you just want to do in this industry? You sound like you've got a fair few, I reckon.
There's so many. I would love to go like Nashville. I would love to go like LA and stuff. But although a lot of people have said LA, like get rid of it. Just go to like they like go to like New Orleans and Chicago and like all these other places where there's like just thriving music. Like
that's
LA is just like a big big billboards. Like they put on a show, but it's not really like all that. It's not really music.
Yeah.
But at the same time, then I'd love to go like across Europe. There's so much passion for music and culture. There's so many different cultures across Europe. And I don't know, I love culture. I love like different stuff. I love like different foods, different people, different fashion, different music, and like everything inspires me,
It's so good. So good that you can still be inspired and still get out there and do it. And you're doing it. You're living the dream. It's what you've made your dream come true.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing. Yeah. I know you've got a gig and you've got to get in there to set up. I'm sorry, we've talked for ages. But where's the best place for people to keep an eye on you? Social media? What's the best spot?
I'm quite active on Instagram. A lot of people try to tell me like, oh, it's supposed to be like your professional profile, but like I feel like I'm a bit of a goofball myself. So as professional as it is, like you'll see all my like important updates of like, hey, I'm recording here and I'm doing this and this is what I'm releasing, whatever. Like all on Instagram, you'll see it all there. But you'll probably also see me having a laugh and sharing like an awkward dad joke here and there and just some really dumb humor every now and again as well. So like I do let some personality leak through. It's not all business.
Love it.
That's
what I want to see. Real stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I like to keep it real. So like Instagram. I do have Facebook, but a lot of things that I share on Instagram, I sort of just share over to Facebook.
I can that makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm now like on TikTok as well. So I think I have like 480 followers. So like I'm blowing up.
Yeah, wow. It was so big.
But like, I'm gonna try and like be more active with TikTok and that as well.
Yeah.
But I'd say my main thing is Instagram. That's where I'm on mostly. So
Yeah. No, that
Yeah.
sounds good. So everybody, when we're finished here, I want you to head over to Instagram and make sure you give him a follow. But in the links, you have to go and have a listen to Cigarettes and Whiskey, the acoustic version of it on YouTube. It is fantastic. It is so good. And I think
And stream it on Spotify and Tidal and wherever else you have it.
keep it going. Put it in your playlists. Keep it charting. Have you got more music you're ready to release? Have you got any more coming this year?
I'm actually flying to Sydney next week to record hopefully 4 more songs.
Wow.
So again, watch Instagram and I'll let you know when that's coming out. Because obviously it takes it's a process to mix and master and then do your release plan. But hopefully I'll be really on it. I'm going to keep myself super accountable now that I've said it to everyone, that I'm doing it. I can't procrastinate.
You can't stop now. It's out. But do some behind the scenes stuff. It's always awesome to see the differences behind the scenes, especially when you release it later on. You can release some of the song coming alive and from when you've recorded it, from when you've written it, just you and then to the next level of recording it and the artists and the instruments. It's just so incredible watching a song go from paper to the real thing. It's kind of cool that the creation of music. It's creation, you're making something out of nothing. It's just out of thin air. Getting all these ideas and you're making just vibrations on different instruments all come together to make this symphony. It's insane. Music just blows me away. Music is special. We're so lucky to have it here. Well, thank you so much for coming to talk to me, and I hope we get to have you back very soon with your next single, because I just think what you're putting out is great. It's real and it's going to do so well. But I'd love to have you back again very soon.
Thanks heaps. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, guys. We will be back very soon. It must be 7:00 just about. So between now and 7:15, we've got Sandy coming on. So the link is on the page on all our socials. So hang in there. We'll log in, we'll do sound check, and we'll be back again with another show. So if you're lucky, you get 2 tonight. We've got a few this week that are doubled up. So it'll be good to get some new music on your playlist. Thank you so much. We'll have you again very, very soon. Have a good gig. Have fun in there. And make sure you do Cigarettes and Whiskey. I'm going to throw the request there.
Heck yeah. Cheers. Appreciate it.
All right. See you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening. We hope you've enjoyed today's program. See you next time with the latest with Country Kickback.